News capture. What do you got for us, news? What's happening? What's going on in this world? Oh, they're split into actual, like, topics. That's kind of cool. Oh, geez, there's going to be a lot of stuff. Okay. Online Jack, free streaming. We investigate the hottest topics for you. Salvador Ihara. Welcome to Online Jack, the no-holds-barred information program that brings you the hottest topics. Our star reporter, Salvador Ihara, will bring you all the dirt you want to know. And here's this week's Jack target, Doll Syndrome. What? Oh, there's a movie. I'm not going to be watching the movies. Sorry, we're going to skip those. Doll Syndrome is the mysterious illness that is secretly spreading among elementary school students. Our Online Jack investigators will lock on to Taichiro Sugai, the noted professor and author of Online Games Are Turning Our Children into Dolls, The Dangers of Doll Syndrome. Okay, everyone, let's call our Salvador Ihara. So that's the coma thing, I'm assuming. They've just given a name to it. R2 breaks the 12 million mark. This is the world R2. That's what we're playing right now. Version 2 of the world. Not exactly the same game as you have seen from the previous video, but, you know, the gist of it's there. It's still the world. CyberConnect Japan announced today that its popular online game, The World R2, has sold 12 million copies worldwide. CC Corp's other products include The World, Fate Must Die, Person, and Kuru Kuru Michi. The World R2 is an online game set in a fantasy world where humans and beasts live together. That sounds insane. What kind of a human would live with a beast? What kind of a beast would live with a human? Oh, that's nuts. Players become world-renowned adventurers and travel around killing monsters and discovering the world's secrets. As recently as a few years ago, shares in The World were at an all-time low due to the emergence of new developers. Ooh. So it changed from one group of developers to another. Interesting. On top of that, The World was completely shut down after all data was lost in a disastrous fire at CC Corporation's headquarters. Amid the chaos and compensation issues that resulted from those events, CC Corp announced the sequel, The World R2. People mostly deemed it a desperate plea for attention, and many analysts declared that R2 would fail miserably. However, the figures shown today have proven that The World is as popular as ever. CC Corp seems confident. Watch us overcome the problems we encountered on our previous title. It seems everyone will be watching The World for some time to come. Okay, that's kind of cool. Thanks to the support of its many fans, The World will celebrate its 10th anniversary this year. CyberConnect Japan, hereafter referred to as CC Corp, today announced blah 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 blah. Got it. And a bunch of other stuff. Whew. Nation unified on citizen numbering system. 15 years after the Administration Relations Bill was passed, the digitization of our government... Oh god. After everything that happened in the first 4 games... Alright, we're doing it again. Alright, here we go. No, we're gonna digitize things. It's fine. The digitization of our government is at long last approaching its final stages, but how many people have vehemently opposed this bill since its inception, only to be ignored to the last? Okay. Deleted data, ongoing grudges. Oh, can we click into this? Do we want to do that? Okay, so here's the thing. Let me know in the comments of the video whether you want me to pop into these stories and actually read the full news story, or if just reading the little snippet there is enough. Just let me know your preferences, I'm curious. I like to go in and read everything, but I know not everybody does, and this is probably the most important information, right? We're digitizing the government. That's probably it. You don't need to read all this stuff. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to read everything. I may change that as time goes on. Starting this month, all local servers managed by regional governments will be frozen, and all the various ID rules used by self-governing bodies will be unified to federal government specifications. In addition, it will become required for all governing bodies to adopt the numbering system, and for all citizens to wear their own number at all times for administrative purposes. Don't worry, we will tattoo the barcode of your number onto your head. Probably not, but you never know. These weird dystopian cyber futures in Japan have some pretty weird shenanigans from time to time. This system, introduced to speed up government processes by conducting them online, is already being used in online banking, shopping, and other sites. By using a receiver placed in one's home, all Japanese citizens will be able to use their cell phones or mobile computers to access a variety of services from anywhere in the country. Yet, in spite of the incredible conveniences we have today, the system has met with severe opposition. Recently, the Independent Japan Party won many seats in the lower house of the Diet because of their popular position to abandon the bill altogether. Calls for all political parties to discuss the bill are still continuing, and the problem has attracted a lot of media attention. Mr. Koji, I'm going to assume that equal sign is a typo, chief editor of the weekly magazine Net Watcher, has this to say. It is true that the system will make things very convenient. When you compare the time when the bill was first approved to now, encryption technology has made huge leaps. The NAB, the Network Administration Bureau, has been established, and some semblance of order has been brought to the internet. Boy, wouldn't that be a thing. There are far fewer data leaks, and at first glance, it would appear there are no problems whatsoever. Oh, famous last words. It's a horrible thing to say. However, take a moment to think. In exchange for IT advancements and a more convenient lifestyle, we've been reduced to being defined by a 15-digit combination. This is no different from the ear tags placed on cows and horses to tell them apart. It's no wonder that people are so opposed to this degrading system. Despite all this, the system has made it through the legal process and will soon be a part of our lives. Will there ever come a day where we welcome it? Yeah, we're not going to watch it. Actually, 17 seconds.
The Online Administration Act received a majority vote of the ruling party, meaning the adoption of the citizen numbering system seems to be inevitable. As a result, the process of converting to an electronic government has overcome its final hurdle.
Okay, so just the same thing over and over and over again. Digital online government becoming a thing. Okay, and there's the movie there. I don't know, maybe we just do the movie and I don't have to read everything? I'm not sure. Again, let me know what you guys think. Deleted data, ongoing grudges. Some people have said, in a flash, the world was gone. Even now, the discussion on personal data ownership and administrative rights to protect that data online continues, with no end in sight. What have we learned since the CC Corporation fire? So it has been 2 years. Here we go. There we go. We have a timeline now. It's been 2 years since the largest online game ever, The World, with 20 million copies sold worldwide, was taken offline. I think it's safe to assume that the fire has something to do with Morgana and Kites and everyone. This might have been a year or two after the events of the first 4 games, but it just gives us a rough timeline. Everybody was, really young kids back then, and now we're slightly older young kids. It was around this time that CC Corp had a fire in their headquarters. As the extent of the damage caused by the fire, which wiped out all of the world's data, became increasingly apparent, CC Corp's leaders held a rather somber press conference. The game program, character data, and cyber data, they were all reduced to ashes, and what was left was drenched in water that was used to put out the fire. This happened soon after a string of break-ins, which meant that usage of Megafloat had just been stopped. All backup data was in the company headquarters when this happened. Online data has been recognized as property for many years now. But unlike antiques, jewelry, or other tangible objects, the moment data is damaged or disappears, it loses all of its worth forever. Even now, the voices are seeking their lost property. Even now, the voices of those seeking their lost property can be heard, but CC Corp refuses to budge from their unwavering attitude of, it's gone, and it ain't coming back. Now, 2 years since that incident, there still appears to be no end to the discussion about online data, personal property, and protection, even with the imminent release of The World R2. Okay. Alright. Are these all in the nation thing still? Alright. CC Corporation employees are happy in their new office. That's good. The new headquarters has been completed. The new building, designed with an avant-garde look and located close to a high-powered commercial area, is sure to become the next great landmark in the city center. The CyberConnect Museum, located on the ground level, is open to the public, although one must apply for permission. Or for admission? Admission permission. And popular characters from the international mega hit The World will greet visitors personally. Oh, that's me. That's Kite. I bet you Kite is the only one greeting everybody. And he just follows them around and repeats everything that they say. 2 years after the fire, employees are happy to be leaving their cramped temporary offices and moving back to a proper working environment. Yes, fire broke out in 2015. Oh. We have a date. I feel like The World was in I don't know. Doesn't matter. Users have also been eagerly anticipating the move in the hope that newer and more interesting games will be made as a result. Oh, we get a little movie.
After having suffered a huge fire in 2015, CyberConnect Japan's new home office has now been completed. Subsequent investigations determined that a spark from electrical equipment led to the blaze 2 years earlier, resulting in multiple deaths and injuries.
They're really pounding home this whole fire thing. If there's anything we've taken away from reading the news, it's a couple years ago there was a fire. There was a fire a couple years ago. All of the world stuff was destroyed in a fire, which happened a couple years ago. And have we mentioned that there was a fire a couple years ago that destroyed everything having to do with the world in the fire? That happened 2 years ago. You know, the fire. Good grief, we get it, game. It's like Kite is writing the news. Early this morning, 4 employees at CyberConnect Japan suffered electric shocks while attempting to construct a company server and were promptly rushed to the hospital. All 4 are unconscious and in critical condition. They certainly are not going to be placed in comas because they were playing the world. I actually don't know what's going on with this. We are still searching for the cause of this tragic incident. Similar incidents occurred 7 years ago when a number of employees monitoring a server were rendered unconscious. At the time, CC Corp was severely admonished for its lack of safety protocols, and as a result, introduced a TSN system into their headquarters. But accidents continued to occur. Thanks, Morgana. 2 years ago, CC Corp suffered a huge fire. Yep. Try surveillance network system. 3 different AIs are set inside the company network to monitor it. It is designed to prevent information leaks, improper network usage, and company-wide system problems. Developed in 2010 by the International Electronic General Technology Research Center. CC Corp and the world and AIs seem like kind of a bad mix. I don't know how I feel about that. That seems, Alright, the dark side of the online generation. As soon as we called each other by our world names, I felt like something had gone far away, said one of the young culprits to his lawyer. It has been 2 months since the incident, in which 3 young boys took over a school faculty room. Currently, they live in separate rooms while undergoing a reform program. What? Okay, whatever. Only recently has one of the boys started to speak about what happened that day. Even now, they continue to inhabit a virtual reality, says a source close to the boys. They don't like to talk about school, and when asked about their family or friends, they reply with only the most basic information possible. The only time their eyes sparkle is when talking about the world. Okay. When asked who his best friend is, one boy replies with a Western name. If one were to ask him if that is the name of his pen pal, his expression saddens, and he responds, I don't have any friends in real life. Oh, that's actually kind of sad. One thing that these boys can be said to have in common is the fact that they have all completely removed themselves from the real world. They do not trust the real world. I told people online about my problems. In real life, no one would care about them. But online, everyone cares. My online friends are all so nice. They worry about me, they give me advice. I just wish real life was like my life online. And then a picture with a bunch of weapons, for some reason. Okay. Although discussion about the effects of online gaming on young boys has been going on for years, public opinion has been moving against games as more and more facts of this case come to light. These boys know of reality, yet do not seem to understand it. What will they see when they return to the real world?
It was discovered that the 3 armed youths who were responsible for the recent school riot were devoted online gamers. Following this discovery, public criticism of online games increased sharply.
Okay, it's like we're watching some early 2000s video games are ruining the youth panic. Awesome, that seems fitting. We're probably going to have to bounce back over to the topics tab. Good grief, we're going to be reading so much freaking news. Okay, the new space station is nearing completion. The International Space Station, built with the cooperation of America, Japan, the EU, Russia, and China, is finally nearing completion. Originally, it was projected to launch in 2017. Sure, we'll read this. It has been 5 years since the space station, Evolution, was completed, and the second station was announced. Cool. In contrast to the Evolution, which is currently being used as a space laboratory, the new space station is planned for use in the construction of moon bases, the exploration of Mars, and the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. That's awesome.
With the participation of Japan and many other countries, the International Space Station, slated for completion in 2017, is nearly done. As large as a soccer stadium, this fully manned facility will be used for various types of research in a deep space environment.
Okay. I dig it. Here we go again. Games to blame for juvenile delinquency. I'm a hero! These are the words written on a sketchbook found in a young boy's school bag. The recent outbreak of juvenile delinquency is said to be the effect of video games, according to the experts. Games have far better graphics compared to novels. Yeah, they have graphics compared to novels. Novels tend to not have graphics. Anyway, games are interactive, sure. It's easy for children to see themselves as the protagonist of their favorite games. This is a dangerous phenomenon. We don't want children thinking that they're protagonists or heroes, thinking that they matter. How dare they? For example, what would happen if a child were to play an extreme action game and begin to believe that he was the game's main character? He could possibly act in real life the same way as he could in the game. It frightens me just thinking about the consequences of that. There are several cases of parents of both game-influenced assailants and their victims suing game companies, claiming that they are responsible for making their children into criminals or somehow responsible for their child's death. However, the game companies respond by saying, "We've implemented a perfectly good rating system for our games, and no one is allowed to buy them without proper identification. Perhaps the ones who are truly to blame are the parents who allow their children to buy such games, you horrible parents." A friend of one of the victims has this to say: "You can't just blame the problem on one thing. It's more complex than that. Everyone's involved and has a share in the blame." Game makers, parents, even myself, no exception. We should all realize this and stop this pointless arguing. After all, it's not like arguing will help bring back what we lost. Oh, good grief. Well, global warming. Okay. A meeting was held this week in Kazakhstan, Central Asia, about the greenhouse effect and cutting down the greenhouse emissions such as CO2. Thanks to progress made in carbon dioxide processing technology, the amount of CO2 released last year was down to 10% of what it was in 1990. However, the problem of global warming has yet to be fully resolved due to the expanding energy needs of former third world countries. Okay, topical, still. 5 Japanese to play in Major League Baseball. This year marks the first time that 5 Japanese players will be playing in the MLB All-Star Game. Among them, the 33-year-old Kyuji Nakasugi will be playing in the majors for the 4th consecutive year, and currently holds second place for most home runs batted this season with 20. That's pretty good. Nakasugi commented on his blog saying that, "I'm very happy to have been chosen as an All-Star again this year. I hope you will look forward to my home run contest." Death by gaming. Okay. Between the fire and gaming just ruining civilization, that's kind of what we've got so far in the news. Incidents of players dying from playing online games for far too long are increasing around the world. This is actually like a real thing that has happened every now and then. It's less of an issue in Western culture. More of an issue in, like, Japan and Korea, where they have, like, PC bangs and stuff like that, like gaming cafes. In most cases, players died from heart failure due to extreme exhaustion after playing a game for 30 hours straight or more. One college student was enjoying a game in an internet cafe when he suddenly collapsed. He was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The student was a well-known player in the online game The World, and was reportedly leveling up his character in preparation for a title match in the arena. Ooh, that sounds like fun. which is an online series of gladiator-like battles. There have also been incidents of players dying from too much excitement after losing an arena match, placing greater focus on the problem of online game addiction. So the World tab seems to basically be about how video games are evil. And same with the Nation tab. All right, tech. What do we got? New York and back in a day, ASST service begins. Today marked the official launch of advanced supersonic travel. The AST technology makes it possible to fly from New York City to Tokyo in around 4 hours. That's pretty swift. That's pretty awesome. Since the use of Concords was abandoned more than 10 years ago, Japan and Europe have cooperated in developing the first usable AST model. The plane seats 250 people, possessing a cruising range of 10,000 kilometers, and can fly from Tokyo to New York in roughly 4 hours, a considerable reduction from the current 14-hour trip. Although a day trip to New York City is no longer a mere dream, to make this dream come true will require some serious cash. A one-way ticket is 3,200,000 yen, roughly $30,000. A round trip is double that, as you would expect. It is enough to make the old, quote-unquote, expensive Concorde prices feel like pocket change in comparison. However, there appears to be no shortage of people desperately seeking tickets, despite the high prices. The moment AST flights were announced, new Ace Airlines phones began ringing off the hook with requests for tickets, causing the phone lines to become jammed. One new Ace Airlines, or one employee remarked that he just hopes the company can keep going at this rate. A round-trip ticket for a Concorde flight was $9,000 to $13,000. So, still expensive as hell. Just a bit less so.
The supersonic passenger jet, ASST, which can attain speeds of over Mach 3, has been officially commissioned. As a result, the amount of time it takes to fly from Tokyo to New York has been shortened from 14 hours to just 4 hours.
Ubiquitous families surpassed 70%. The Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare announced today that, according to the latest Japanese census, the number of ubiquitous families have surpassed 70% of the population. Ubiquitous is a Latin-based word meaning present everywhere. It refers to the third generation of computers, the first being the mainframe, the second being the personal computer. So, who had one mainframe computer per household? That's insane. And then the personal computer meaning one for each family member? In the current third generation, using a computer in daily life has become almost as natural as eating. We can connect to the internet without effort or even conscious thought, anywhere, anytime. Home electronics are now managed by a personal home server, and we are now able to watch over everything, from the contents of our refrigerator to the temperature of our bathtubs, programming TV shows into our HD recorders, and even checking if our doors are properly locked, from any terminal anywhere, including our cell phones. Furthermore, progress made in voice and handwriting recognition has opened up computers to a more active, flexible method of working, and users are no longer ruled by a strict list of settings managed by a machine. While it comes as no surprise that the most active members of the ubiquitous family are in their 20s, what is surprising is that the next largest group is made up of senior citizens. The ministry reports that the main reason for this is the added simplicity such connectivity allows the elderly in managing their homes. What a, idealistic, forward-thinking idea. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like that as a concept. My grandparents used to call my dad all the time, their son, and ask him how to make the VCR stop blinking. Like, make the 12 go away. It'd just be like 12, 12, 12 from the clock. The clock would just do that. It would just blink 12 o'clock over and over again. We used to get that call, at least once a week. Very often. So I think the senior citizens being a huge portion of people using technology is very optimistic. All right, virtual academics officially begins. Starting this year, a private high school in the city will begin offering virtual academic courses. For the last 2 years, the school has been conducting VAC trials with the physically disabled and hospitalized students. That's pretty cool. I like that. This is a really cool idea. Man, there's a lot of like really optimistic stuff in here once you get past all of the, hey, a fire ruined everything and also video games are ruining everything. Get past that and there's some cool stuff in here. The process involves preparing a virtual classroom on a network which the students attend via M2D displays. That's whatever the like headset virtual reality technology is that everyone uses like to play the world, for example. Virtual avatars based on the students' actual appearances are assembled using CG. Students are even able to look out a virtual window. That's okay. Instead of merely granting high school graduate qualifications, as most distance learning courses provide, this system's goals are to provide students with a real memory of actual school life. Cool. New GPS systems are being widely used. Cool. New GPS for cars that monitor real-time traffic information throughout a constant connection to the database of the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, and Transportation. Those GPS systems are now in widespread practical use. The new systems speak with the driver as naturally as a human and learn the driver's speech and behavior patterns over time, enabling the systems to understand and set a destination even when the driver refers to vague terms such as the usual place or work. Furthermore, the systems are equipped with highway-specific auto-drive functions, allowing users to leave the driving entirely up to the GPS system. I'm sure no AIs could hack the system and cause any sort of havoc. That sort of thing doesn't happen in .hack games. 50% of parents support microchips for children. Oh geez. We're giving everybody an identification number and we're microchipping them. We're turning people into like pets. Into household pets. The belief that Japan was a safe society has long since been destroyed. Now, a new study reveals that over 50% of parents want to have microchips embedded in their children's bodies to prevent them from getting lost or kidnapped. Currently, the safety chip from Horizon Inc. Horizon? I'm gonna go with Horizon. Anyway, their safety chip is being widely distributed. The chip size is less than half a grain of rice, and by scanning the area it's embedded in, usually the neck, with a special scanner, all the information contained within the chip can be easily downloaded. It costs $115 and a monthly fee of $10 required to manage access to the database. Once a chip is embedded, the embeddee can use it as they would a cell phone in order to get cash, buy groceries, enter passwords, and so on. However, the chip can also be used to look up the personal history and/or criminal record, and to pinpoint the embeddee's exact location using GPS technology. Furthermore, it is also possible to use the chip to pay for train tickets and highway tolls and to send information to a computer or cell phone just by pointing it towards them. However, many people are strongly opposed to implanting a chip into children who are unable to make their own decisions, calling parents who choose to do so egotistical and invasive. In response to these complaints, that company is developing a new model called a Guard Bangle, which is a bracelet with a chip embedded in it. But this option leaves itself wide open to theft, defeating the purpose of having one of these chips for safety purposes. Many teenagers desire to have one of these chips implanted for the quote-unquote cool factor, but in a survey of children who have had these chips implanted, over 80% say they regret it. Wow, children having regrets already. Not a great way to start off. It seems that these chips have a long way to go before they will be accepted by society. Art. Here we go. Here's the M2D, the micro monocle display. Retail price 49,800 yen. And you can see it's a little virtual reality headset thing. Okay, developed by CC Corp. The M2D has been developed as the next generation of head-mounted displays. Previous models have suffered from various imbalances, such as high-performance technology in a heavy, awkward helmet, or goggle types that were lacking in audio-visual capabilities. However, this new generation features all the comfort of a light goggle display together with the AV performance that outperforms previous helmet types. It features a standard low resolution at 1280 by 1024, full color projection display. That's actually pretty good. It's pretty damn high. and high-quality audio immersion thanks to its new Omnisphere system. Its default usage is monocle mode, a mode where the screen is displayed in only one lens. But it is also capable of switching into double lens mode, allowing one to fully enjoy an immersive virtual world. Customer service is also excellent, with regular updates and complimentary software. I personally recommend the software Automatic Broad Interpretation. It allows you to select objects in front of you and provide easy access to information about them. It has already been selected as the standard equipment for CC Japan's online game, The World R2. Plans for it to be used in other company projects are said to be in the works. It is a bit pricey, with a suggested price around $420, but it's worth it, and I can't wait for its release.
Display your world. For business or for entertainment, the new M2D Micro Monocle display now on sale. Once you're freed from your mobile, the net opens up in front of your eyes.
Okay, that's a thing. Outdoor introverts. Oh, immediately following that previous article. Here we go. Advancements in mobile technology have given birth to a new type of introvert, known as the outdoor introverts. They refuse to let go of their mobile devices during travel, work, school, shopping, eating, or even romantic dates. It wasn't that long ago that the word introvert referred to someone who would spend most of the day cooped up in their room playing an online video game or recording YouTube videos for their YouTube channel, maybe streaming, I don't know. But now advances in mobile technology have given birth to a new type of introvert, known as the outdoor introverts, who play online games wherever they go. Also known as everybody who has a mobile phone. That's all anybody does with it. These introverts insist that they are healthier than their indoor counterparts because they spend more time outside. But the refusal to let go of their mobile devices, regardless of what they're doing, it's unnatural. One of these introverts, John Doe, a 20-year-old college student, says, "Nothing I do in the real world feels real." I hate people calling it the real world. I mean, I guess it makes sense specifically in this context when you have the world as the name of the video game that you play. So, never mind, we'll just let go of that one. But it is a bit of a pet peeve, I don't like saying that. Anyway, it's so much more satisfying to complete a quest with your friends together online. For them, online games are more than just entertainment. If anything, their mealtimes and errands only serve as something to do between gaming sessions. And now these people are outside, being introverts like it's completely natural.
In the old days, when people thought of an online junkie, they envisioned someone locked in their room, glued to their computer 24 hours a day. But today, due to radical improvements in mobile devices, network games can be enjoyed outside and have given rise to a whole new breed of online junkies.
Awesome. Online junkies. I like it. All right. The World R2 breaks the 12 million mark. We already know about that. Ooh, here we go. This is more specifically having to do with the world, I'm assuming. Player killers and players killed. Players known as PKers exist in online games. They are player killers, and they play the game to defeat other player characters. PKing also refers to the actual act of killing another player. The victims of PKers often lose experience points and in-game currency, and many of them have given up playing online games due to this shock. When asked, most PKers will say things like, "If it's allowed in the game, then it's not against the rules." Everyone's got different playing styles, or if you don't like it, go play a game that doesn't allow it. It is true that there are many online games that do not allow PKing. However, on the other hand, when considering that many players in non-PK games have far lower motivation to play than their PK game counterparts, it becomes difficult to say whether PKers are good or bad for the game. One player had this to say: "The PK problem will never go away unless the people controlling the characters change." Ominous. Crimson Versus, the popular online card game run by CC Corp, remains offline 6 months after efforts to expand the servers and to conduct software updates. Crimson Versus is played together with The World R2. Players make a custom deck out of hundreds of different cards and pit them against other players' decks online. One of the main problems with this type of online card game is the fact that none of the cards a player gains actually exist. They're all just data stored on a server somewhere. Therefore, during long periods of downtime, such as the current one, players cannot use or even admire one's hard-earned collection. To that end, CC Corporation has been flooded with requests from users to hurry up and resume the game's service. Fans of the game, ranging from elementary school students to adults, are even now eagerly awaiting the return of their favorite pastime. Okay, that's almost everything. We're gonna go hit the... Oh gosh. Okay, well, we still have a handful of these. Yeah, we're gonna just hit these last few. Oh no, those are movies. Why does it say we still have a new thing? Oh, because we didn't watch the video. That's right, Online Jack and the Doll Syndrome. This is actually, I think, the most important thing in the news right now.
This is Salvador Ihara's Online
Alright, we're done with that. I'm not going to watch a 4.5 minute long video. Sorry, everyone. So that's the news. That's that. I think I'm going to just pull this news out and have it in its own video, and I'm probably going to do the same thing with the forums, assuming there's a lot in there. There probably will be. So, thank you for joining me, everyone, and may the grace of the Twilight Dragon be with you.